Situations like this are why store employees just let shoplifting happen. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a Fort Lauderdale, Florida GameStop employee who's being charged with manslaughter after he deleted a would-be shoplifter because the guy was trying to steal some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Ultra Premium trading cards. Now, as I said from the beginning, this is part of the reason why if you go to a store and steal, the employees are going to back off. It's like, look, I don't want to deal with the problems because if I pull my pistol and I hit him, I might get in trouble. If I try to stop the guy without using some kind of weapon and he pulls his pistol and hits me, I'm going to be in the hospital, laid up. The store won't have my back. They're going to say I was in the wrong. Ain't nobody paying my hospital bills. Was it even worth it to steal some Pokemon cards? Rather than doing that, you want to try to take my life. You want to try to take my freedom. It's not really worth it. Now, some are going to say, well, look, if nobody does anything, then the shoplifters are going to have free reign to roam. Some are going to say, well, it doesn't really matter. The store has insurance. It's not your money, all this, that, and the third. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the news clip. If you want to see the clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Charged with shooting and killing a customer, posting bond, and walking out of jail today. Police say he shot a suspected shoplifter at the Pembroke Pines store.
And that store employee commenting to our cameras as he bonded out of jail earlier today. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with what that man had to say. Roy?
I definitely want to hear from the employee to see what he was thinking about and to hear his perspective as far as what's happening to him right now with the manslaughter charges he's facing.
When I spoke with that store manager, he appeared to be very remorseful. In fact, he says he never meant for any of this to happen. But it's police who say surveillance cameras captured this entire incident. And in that video, you can see the victim was not a threat, nor was he armed.
Derek, is there anything you want to say?
33-year-old Derek Guerrero bonding out of the Broward County Jail Thursday after being arrested and charged with manslaughter for allegedly shooting and killing a man police say was shoplifting at this Pembroke Pines GameStop.
Can you tell us what happened inside of the GameStop?
While Guerrero didn't tell me why he felt the need to shoot Tuesday night, investigators say it's the single shot fired from his gun that took the life of 21-year-old Chadrick Coates.
Is there anything you want to say to the victim's family?
I'm extremely sorry for the family.
Guerrero was working at the GameStop as a store manager when police said the victim, who was in the store for more than an hour, tried to distract him by asking Guerrero to grab merchandise from a top shelf. That's when police said he made his move, jumping behind the counter, grabbing what he could. But just as he made his way to the front doors, police said Guerrero grabbed a gun from his waistband and shot him.
Now, let's pause for a minute. So that's a different detail. So the guy was in there for an hour. First of all, you in there for that long in the GameStop. It's not that much merchandise in the GameStop for you to be there that long. At a certain point, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to be like, yo, this guy's trespassing. Get him out of here. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe I'm overreacting, but obviously I'm not overreacting because of what the guy did. But I guess hindsight 2020, right? Anyway, and then you jump behind the counter. That's a little bit different. They said that it didn't pose a threat. Well, if you jump behind the counter, at that point, you might be a threat. Now, maybe at the moment where the guy tried to leave out of the store, he wasn't a threat, but going behind the counter, doing all that extra jazz right there, I mean, you asking for it. Now, it could have been overkill, but I understand why the store manager might have felt threatened. I do understand that, 100%.
The manager observed him and yelled at him, retrieved a firearm, and shot one round towards the victim.
While Coates was rushed to the hospital and later died from his injuries, it's Guerrero who appeared to be remorseful for allegedly taking the life of a man who police say may have been shoplifting but was unarmed and didn't pose a threat.
Now, I was wondering what kind of shirt he had on, just as a side note, Cowboy Bebop, all right? So this guy kind of like a weeb, anime, nerd kind of guy, and I'm not trying to disrespect him because I'm a nerd too, so it's all good. But I don't think he was even really prepared for that situation. So then when it unfolds and you have a firearm on you, you're thinking it's a threat and you do something like that. I totally understand why he did it, and I understand why he is remorseful, because now he's realizing the gravity of actually what happened. The guy died. I don't think he intended for the guy to die. He hit him one time in the side. The guy went to the hospital and died 3 hours later. So I don't think it was a matter of, okay, I'm going to just delete this guy because he's stealing some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet baseball cards or trading cards.
Didn't pose a threat.
I didn't mean for any of this to happen to the family. It wasn't my intention. That's all I'm going to say.
And again, Guerrero saying right there, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I also did get a chance to reach out to the Coates family. However, they are choosing not to comment on the case at this time.
All right, so that's that. That's the story from out there in Florida. I have an article here as well. You see what's going on. Florida Gamestop worker kills man trying to steal Pokemon cards. The clerk is facing a manslaughter charge after police said he shot the shoplifter as he was attempting to leave the store. So yeah, it's pretty rough. You know, they said that the cards retail for $120 a box. I'm not really sure how many he was trying to steal, but they're going to say that's not even really important. And you know what? This is part of the reason why over on the left coast, California, they say anything below $1,000, we're not even going to prosecute now. In Florida, it's a little bit different, I would suppose. But other parts of the country, they're already up on this. They already know that these guys are going to do it, and it's not really worth it to risk your life or your freedom to try and stop these guys. But the ultimate thing here would be for law enforcement to be able to get a hold of these people shoplifting, because once you get away with it and it's not really a penalty, you're going to keep doing it over and over again, and that's going to ruin the local economy. You see what's happening with San Francisco and other parts of California, left coast. You have big retail chains that are just abandoning these cities because of all the retail theft that's happening. And if you're not able to get a hold on the shoplifting, you're going to have more and more of these closings all over these big left-leaning or leftist controlled cities. It's very simple. All right. So he put the gun from the waistband, hit him one time, and then he dropped the cards, ran outside to a waiting pickup truck. So he had a getaway vehicle. He was in the store for an hour and had a getaway vehicle. You see what I'm saying? So now the woman in the vehicle, probably his girlfriend's wife or something like that, called the police, and he died 3 hours later in the hospital. Now they say police said store security cameras showed the shoplifter never threatened Guerrero nor display any weapons. But you jump behind the counter and you just grabbing stuff. Is that not a threat? I think that might be. Now, Florida, let's get to this, because some are going to say, well, what about stand your ground? Does that really apply here? Let's read this to see if they say anything about it. Florida, under its stand your ground law, lets someone use deadly force if there is a threat of death or great bodily harm to themselves or others. So right there, the police are refuting that because they say that there was no threat. But we continue. But it does not allow it to simply protect property. Manslaughter is a killing that is unplanned and in the heat of the moment. Guerrero is being held at the Broward County Jail on a $25,000 bail. Jail records do not show if he has an attorney. So I believe he was able to bond out. You saw he had an ankle monitor on when he was being questioned, or when he was talking to the news, he had a monitor on his ankle. So, I mean, hey, I don't really feel sympathy for the guy that got deleted, because you shouldn't have been stealing. At the same time, maybe it was a little bit too much for the guy to delete him over the shoplifting. But I understand why it happened. I totally understand. And my heart's with the store manager 100%. I saw his face. He was just realizing the gravity of what happened. He didn't want things to go that way, but they did go that way. Now, as I close, I want to ask a question. Do you think what happened here was too much? Was it the appropriate thing? I think that something must be done about these criminals in these cities that think they could do whatever they want to do with no consequence. Because if not, you're going to have more criminality, more brazen criminality, as we see on the left coast as a result. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think the store manager was in the right and the wrong? Do you think that the shoplifter caused it all? Because, hey, if the guy doesn't go in there, try to distract him, trespassing, hanging around for an hour, jumping behind the counter, just grabbing stuff, if he doesn't do any of that, then none of this happens, okay? He could have just went in there, looked around, not bought anything, went about his way, and we would not know about the store manager. We would not know about him. We would not know about anything, ultimately. So again, maybe the store owner went a little bit over the top. Maybe. I'm not even trying to really blame him because I understand why he did what he did. But the fault is with the shoplifter. Don't go and steal stuff. Don't go and commit crime. Don't be a criminal. And maybe you don't wind up in these kind of situations, whether the law says that you were a victim or not, because regardless of what, his life is gone. He can't get that back. It doesn't even matter if the store manager gets locked up or in trouble at all for this. It's totally irrelevant because the store manager getting in trouble, the store manager getting locked up won't bring the guy's life back. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.